At a Thanksgiving party, my grandmother screamed at me in front of everyone, "Why is an elderly couple living in the $1 million vacation home I bought for you?" I froze. And in that moment I said something no one expected. "What are you talking about? I'm homeless right now." The entire room went silent. And then my sister turned pale as the lawyer walked in. If you've ever been betrayed or underestimated by your own family, hit subscribe right now, like this video, and comment below if you're ready to see a story where justice is not just served, it's perfected. Let's dive in. Thanksgiving had always been a day of forced smiles, awkward small talk, and pretending that everything in the family was perfect. But this year, I had hoped to attend with low expectations. After all, I had been struggling living paycheck to paycheck, sometimes even couch surfing. Homeless, yes, but I still carried myself with dignity. The moment my grandmother's voice cut across the room, every memory of my struggle came rushing back. I could feel my heart thudding painfully in my chest, my hands trembling slightly as if they were trying to hold themselves steady. She pointed at me, eyes blazing. "Why is an elderly couple living in the $1 million vacation home I bought for you?" The room fell silent. My sister froze mid-bite, her mashed potatoes forgotten, her fork hovering in the air, every head turned toward me. My mind raced. Confusion, anger, disbelief, they all collided at once. I took a deep breath and forced words out, calm despite the storm inside me. "What are you talking about? I'm homeless right now." A shocked murmur rippled through the family. My grandmother's face twitched in disbelief. My sister's face paled so much she looked as though she might pass out. And then, the lawyer arrived. Yes, the lawyer. The same one my grandmother had secretly hired months ago, thinking she could control the situation and manipulate the family inheritance. She had believed no one would question her, no one would notice the elderly couple who were now living in the house she claimed was mine. The truth is, I had known about this for months. I discovered the couple retired, sweet, completely unaware, living in the home, and I realized something crucial. My grandmother had bought this home under the guise of giving it to me, but she'd manipulated the deed, the trust, and every legal document so that she could control it, and ultimately profit from it. When I first found out, I was devastated. Betrayal cuts deeper when it comes from family. I had loved my grandmother, I had trusted her implicitly, but now I was homeless, financially drained, and being humiliated publicly. Yet as the initial shock passed, a single thought crystallized in my mind. This isn't just about a home. This is about respect, justice, and showing her exactly what happens when you betray someone who's underestimated you. I smiled faintly. Inside, my mind was calculating. Every legal avenue, every loophole, every single detail I'd been gathering for months fell into place like pieces of a puzzle. I had waited for the perfect moment, and Thanksgiving, with all eyes on me, was it. The lawyer, a tall, precise woman with sharp glasses and a clipboard full of papers, stepped forward. My grandmother opened her mouth to protest, but the lawyer held up a hand. "Let's review the facts," she said calmly. "The deed to the vacation home was transferred to protagonist's name last year, as per the original trust agreement. All funds associated with the property were properly allocated to her. The elderly couple currently residing there were legally invited as caretakers, and the home remains under her control." Gasps filled the room. My grandmother's face went red, a mix of rage and embarrassment. My sister, who had tried to act as her ally, now seemed frozen, unable to form words. And I felt a rush of vindication that I'd never experienced before. For months, I had quietly documented every transaction, every legal document, every signature and clause. I had anticipated the day she might try to humiliate me publicly, and now, in front of everyone, all of that careful preparation paid off. I could see the subtle shift in the family dynamics immediately. The room, which had been tense and judgmental, was now quiet with awe. Even my cousins, who had long assumed I was the struggling one, looked at me with a new respect. My grandmother tried to interject, her voice trembling, "That's not what I meant." But it was too late. Every paper, every clause, every documented proof of her deceit had been laid bare. Her attempts to manipulate and intimidate had crumbled. And then, as if the universe had choreographed it perfectly, the elderly couple stepped forward. They smiled warmly at me, unaware of the tension they were walking into, but their presence alone reinforced the truth. This was my home, my property, and I had been patient and meticulous enough to make sure no one could challenge it. I could feel the adrenaline in my veins, my pulse racing as I absorbed the room's energy. Betrayal, humiliation, frustration, they all transformed into this overwhelming sense of control, of justice served in a way that was undeniable. I turned to my grandmother, voice steady and calm, no trace of the fear I'd felt just moments earlier. "I hope this clears up any confusion. The home is mine, always was, and anyone living there now is doing so legally, with my permission." Her face contorted with fury, but the words stuck in her throat. She had underestimated me, dismissed me as powerless, and now, in front of the entire family, the roles had reversed. For the first time, I noticed my sister shrink back. She had aligned herself with our grandmother, whispering behind my back, questioning my decisions, and doubting my judgment. But now, her complicity was exposed. She had nowhere to hide. The rest of the evening passed in a blur of stunned silence and whispered conversations. Guests who had once doubted me approached, congratulated me, and expressed admiration for the way I handled the situation. I felt a strange mix of relief and empowerment. Finally, my voice and my rightful place had been acknowledged. But the real victory wasn't just in the legal proof. It was in the transformation of perception. I had been underestimated, ignored, and humiliated, but by staying patient, strategic, and composed, I had reclaimed not only my property but also my dignity. It was poetic justice in its purest form, calm, methodical, and undeniable. No shouting matches, no impulsive anger, just careful planning, truth, and timing. And in that moment, the satisfaction was profound. By the end of the evening, my grandmother retreated into silence. Unable to argue without exposing herself further, my sister avoided my gaze entirely, and the lawyer quietly ensured all documentation was finalized. I could finally breathe. The home was mine, legally and morally, and no one could ever dispute that. I didn't gloat. I didn't need to. The room had already spoken. Justice, measured and precise, had been delivered, and for the first time in years, I felt a deep sense of peace and empowerment. I had turned humiliation into triumph, not through anger, but through strategy and patience. This story isn't just about a house or a Thanksgiving party. It's about recognizing betrayal, valuing yourself, and understanding that justice is most satisfying when it's deliberate, proportional, and undeniable. Patience, strategy, and integrity can turn even the most humiliating situations into triumph. If you've ever been underestimated, ignored, or betrayed, share your story in the comments. I want to hear how you turn the tables. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more real-life revenge stories, and share this with someone who needs a reminder that justice can be methodical, silent, and incredibly satisfying.